Hi everyone, my name's Tegan Johnson and I'm a Solicitor Apprentice at Kennedy's Law. Kennedy's is a top 30 international law firm dealing mostly with insurance law, but also the division that I'm in, which is commercial law. So I work specifically in commercial construction, which is to do with buildings and whether you're creating them, selling them, or something has gone wrong with a building and you've got a dispute that you need to deal with. So I got into my role as a Solicitor Apprentice after taking on work experience at Kennedy's. So I, as a student, wasn't sure that I wanted to go to university, and that's because the main reason for me was that in university you're only going to get 10 to 20 contact hours a week, and the rest of that time is free for you to use to the best of your studies. So reading time for you to work on assignments and all of that kind of thing. But for me, I personally like to be very busy. I like to have a list of tasks that I can get on with, and I'm a very social person as well, so I like constant contact. And I knew that to get the best out of myself, university just wasn't quite the right fit. So when I took on the work experience at Kennedy's, although I knew that I wanted to go into the field of law, I didn't really know how to go about it, and I thought that I'd just have to go to university and get into law at the end and stick it up for 3 years. But actually, when I was on that work experience placement, Kennedy's let me know that they have an apprenticeship programme. So for people who don't want to spend 3 years at university full-time, what the apprenticeship programme is you study part-time for a period of 6 or 7 years. So I'm studying my degree over 6 or 7 years. I get a day study day every week, and that's a Monday for me. So I spend my Mondays doing lectures and I do exams like everybody else, but over a slightly longer period of time. At the end of those 6 or 7 years, you'll be a fully qualified solicitor and you'll have done everything you need to do. And the benefit of apprenticeships is that not only are you getting on-the-job experience, which is so important in a good career like this, you're also not going to be in any student debt at the end, because you're getting paid to do the job that you're doing, but you're also funded by the firm. So your degree is funded exclusively by your firm and you don't need to pay towards it. So when I finish, I'll be fully qualified, I'll have been paid all the way through, and I won't be in any student debt, which is definitely a benefit. I think what I like about law is that I'm quite a pedantic person. I'm very detail oriented. So as well as being very organised, I like to look at specific things. And so going through a building contract or a sale contract, that really plays to my strengths, and I can pick out the bits in that we need to look at very easily. But that can depend on what type of law you're in. You could be in an advocacy position where a lot of your work is presenting to people and talking to people, so that could play to your strengths. I think the benefit of law is that there are so many different areas that whatever your skill set is, you can find an area of law for you. What motivates me is having a client that at the end of the day has a solution because of what I've done. So it can take me weeks and weeks to sort out a dispute between two parties. But at the end of the day, my client is really happy with what I've done, and I can have saved them thousands, if not millions of pounds by sorting out that dispute. I think that makes me really happy because I can see a tangible effect of my work. I know that if I hadn't done anything, that contract would have ended badly and we could have ended up in court. Like I mentioned, a lot of different skills go into law, so it completely depends what area of law you're working in. But I think there are some common skills that any area of law requires. So you need to listen. You need to be able to listen to your client. You need to be able to understand what they're talking about and what their issue is. Sometimes a client will come to you quite emotional and upset or angry about what's happened, and because of that emotion, they'll tell you in a way which isn't very clear, and you need to be able to listen to them and figure out exactly what it is that they're trying to tell you. You need to be a good speaker, because in this day and age you'll be talking over video calls, but in normal times you'd be talking face-to-face in person with your clients and going to meetings. So you need to be very confident at meeting new people and being able to talk to them face-to-face. that comes with time. So you don't have to be a particularly good public speaker or anything like that, but you will develop those skills as you go forward through your career, and you'll be very supported at the start of it by more senior people in your firm. Another good quality to have is problem solving. At the end of the day, every time a client comes to you, they have a problem that they want you to solve. So you need to go away, research the issue, and come back to them with a solution. And it's not always going to be cut and dry, easy, copy and paste solutions. Sometimes you need to take into account the commercial or individual situation that your client's in. It might be that they have an issue, but there's a side issue that feeds into it, or there's commercial reality that you can't ignore when solving this problem. So you need to be willing to adapt and happy to create solutions that work for your client the best. Finally, I want you to go away and think about the different areas of law. So there's normal aspects of law that everyone knows about, so family law, employment law, and those sorts of things. But there are also some slightly stranger areas of law that you might not even know about. So for example, sports law. What I want you to do is go away and find an example of a really niche area of law that a firm works in. So you might go onto a legal firm's website, you might research on LinkedIn and have a look at some professional profiles. But I want you to find an example of a really niche area of law that you didn't even know existed before this. Thanks everyone.